Are electric cars un-American or the most American thing you can do? Is the business too aggressive and too liberal and commie? I don't know. I don't know. I use those words like gluten because it's just bad and I just know it. So I've got my good friend Randy Kirk here to maybe answer some questions because I really do think that EVs are the most American thing you can get and the best thing and the highlight of all things that make America an amazing country in which to be an innovator. And we'll discuss that. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. So, Randy, you know a thing or two about electric cars, I'm told.
Yeah, it's possible.
Have you ever driven one?
We actually own one.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Okay. Well, we'll skip the silliness. What are the most American cars made?
it turns out that the most recent introduction of an American car, something called a cyber truck, is
Mm-hmm.
now the number one most American vehicle. Almost, in fact, one of the leaders, I forget, Lars, maybe it was, of Tesla, one of the executives the other day was hard pressed to think of a single item in the entire truck that wasn't made in America. So it's the number one by far. But then, according to experts outside of Tesla, the Model Y, the Model 3, the Model S, and the Model X would become the next four most American cars.
Rounding out the top five.
Five.
Now, I can imagine that there are parts in the Cybertruck, maybe blinkers or trim pieces, that are made across the border in Mexico. Monterrey has a lot of part suppliers. Some of them sell parts into Texas, but we're talking by dollar, nothing,
Nothing.
and by part count, very very low.
Right.
So you're telling me Tesla has the five most American made cars.
There you go.
If you look at the rest of the top 10, it's like Toyota and Honda.
That's right.
I don't think Ford or GM have any cars on that list.
Yeah.
Stellantis definitely
Yeah.
does not,
Yeah.
which is a bit weird. So that's pretty pro American.
Yeah.
Who is the biggest electric car company in the world?
Oh, I think that would be Tesla.
Tesla,
Yes. Yes.
from the great state of Texas themselves,
Yeah.
their headquarters anyway, or their old headquarters in California. It's an American company leading the world. Now BYD may have passed them in volume this year, and if
Maybe.
they have, fantastic, good for them. I am cheering them on as well. But by dollar, it's definitely Tesla, and it isn't even close. Now, battery recycling, there's a lot of concerns about that. Oh, how can you recycle them? Do you know why there are so few battery recyclers?
Because there's not very many batteries yet that need to be recycled.
They last longer than we thought. They have a second and third life. Some people are putting them into classic cars. Some people are putting them into off-grid storage at their cabin or what have you. BMW has a program where old batteries from their EVs go back to the mothership where they use them for stationary storage. How clever is that? And for that matter, in the EU, as of now, 50% of batteries have to be recycled. And by 2025, it'll be 65%. And I don't know if that's 65% of the volume or of the numbers, but
Right.
in either case,
Right.
it's fantastic. Who is the best battery recycling company in the world?
Well,
Where is that?
I'm going to guess that you're thinking of Redwood
Mm-hmm.
Materials,
I am.
which is Strobel, who is a buddies with Elon and on the board of directors of Tesla, who left Tesla to start Redwood Materials, and they are not only already the largest, but they're opening their second plant, but building their second plant right now. And again, their biggest issue is not how well they can recycle, because they're recycling something over 90% of lithium batteries, but rather getting enough batteries to recycle. And so, but they're recycling out from whether it's from cell phones or from other kinds of things. They don't care whatever kind of lithium battery they can get. They're recycling, and their biggest customer, I believe, right now is Tesla for the actual finished products.
I'm not sure who their customers are or where they source their equipment, their supplies, I guess, their highly refined ore, if you will. Did you know? Now, the grid's going to fail. The grid's going to fail. The grid's not going to fail. The grid, most EV chargers charge most of the time overnight when the power is available. A lot of places have time of use pricing where the overnight power is cheaper anyway. That's further incentive. Not everyone can charge at night, but not everyone has to. And some EVs, did you know some EVs are already being used to supplement grid power like you would use with a Powerwall or a Megapack?
Yeah, I mean, some of the cars that are built and designed that way, I think Ford's
The Lightning?
the Lightning is designed to be able to be go back to grid, and there are examples. I think the Coke Industries or something is actually using some of that potential right now.
They already have a pilot program where you plug in your Lightning overnight or at home or whenever you're home. And if you wish to participate in this power selling arrangement, they'll charge you up at night and take a little bit back during the day at a premium. And this is American ingenuity. I'm sure others will follow. I'm sure this will become a more common thing. But right now, I'm only aware of one company that's using a vehicle to support the grid, and it's Ford.
Right.
And that was designed in Dearborn. I
And
think it was Dearborn.
most people don't know this, but Elon Musk explained it very clearly that the problem of electricity shortages is not going to be because of VEVs. It's going to be because of data storage facilities of these giant, Microsoft and everybody else who has to have these massive data storage facilities around the country that use amazing amounts of energy, sometimes as much as big cities. Um, those are going to be getting bigger and bigger and needing much more energy. That's where the shortage is going to take place, and that's the thing that we have to overcome, not the BEVs.
Now, without arguing which one is the best, which country makes the best electric pickup?
Well, I think there's only a few electric pickups being made. Something comes to mind like a Rivian, and then there's the Ford, and then there's the new Cybertruck. So I guess it would have to be the United States because I don't think there's any pickups being made anywhere else yet.
There are a bunch in China,
There are a
and
bunch.
some of them are exported to Europe, but
Oh,
they're not very popular because
oh,
the range is much too short
oh,
for many people to adopt them. I saw them at Fully Charged in Farnborough,
I see.
and they are not great cars. I mean, they look beautiful, and I'm sure someone is buying them, but you would not want to go head to head against a Lightning or a Rivian or a Cybertruck in your Great Wall Motors
Yeah.
pickup. And it's not Great Wall. I don't remember who it is, but I don't remember who it is. Uh, but they look nice. They
Okay.
look nice. A lot of things that you buy on wish.com do look nice. Um, what about the best sedan? I mean, there are several that you could argue are the best sedan. Um, who makes the best sedan?
Well, yeah, if I don't know about best, but you could determine best by the best selling. I suspect you'd have to go to Tesla again because the Model 3, I think, is the best selling electric sedan in the world at this point.
It's got to be. You could argue that Lucid is quicker or more comfortable or any of those things. And that's still an American company. That's still American ingenuity, even though Peter Rawlinson is not a US born citizen. A lot of our greatest companies are from immigrants,
Yeah,
Google and Yahoo
yeah.
and Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah. These are important companies doing important things. Now, you could argue that the Taycan is also a very good car, and it's certainly lovely.
Yes.
But by volume, it's hard to argue. Uh, what's the best selling, forget EVs, what's the best selling car in the world?
Oh, let's see. That would be some kind of an SUV that's made by Tesla.
Yeah. It's insane to me that a $50,000, $60,000 car is the number one. The car it replaced, the Corolla, was like a $25,000
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at it by dollars, it's got to be double. It's got to be double,
And the
which is,
TAM that's still available is massive because the Model Y is still not selling very big in the Midwest of the United States. It's not selling in every country in Europe very well. I mean, these are markets that are still going to be built. So it's not hard to imagine the current numbers of Model Ys being up 50, 60, 70% over where they are today.
and that's before they do a refresh that will
Right.
allow them to lower costs, add more compelling features and benefits, maybe get a little more efficiency or something better out of it. And every time you drop the price, sales can increase. When interest rates go down, sales can increase. And we haven't even talked about the compact yet, which is going to be a real amazing thing. A lot of people say, well, if China could sell their cars in the US, they'd be so much cheaper that they would run away with the competition. But what we've found is if you build a car to Western standards, it's no longer China priced,
Yeah.
it's Western priced.
Yeah.
Because it's not the labor that's the big cost of the car, it's all of the things in it. And you need to remember that no matter where you're building them, they are about the same price.
Yeah.
When I was in China, you could get all kinds of toys and household goods for prices that were cheaper than here in the US, but they were garbage. They were junk. And if you wanted something that was as good as what you'd get at Walmart here, it would cost the same there because that's where they got it. So it's crazy. So I would argue that EVs are the most American, most patriotic thing we can have. Now, I imagine you've got a couple questions. Yes.
Brian, if that's true, why in the world are we being forced to buy them instead of letting the market do what it's supposed to do? Why is the government spending my tax dollars to give incentive money to these companies and to the buyers of these electric vehicles if they're so amazing?
Well, that's a curveball because there's an answer that has to do with the carrot and a different answer that has to do with the stick. So the carrot is, why are we giving subsidies to these cars? And the answer is, we're not giving subsidies to all the cars, just the ones built in a way that we believe will strengthen U.S. security in the future. It's not just that we want electric, it's that we want domestic electric. Because if you look at the amount of money, of blood and treasure that has been squandered in defense of petroleum, it is breathtaking to behold compared to the EV subsidies. These EV subsidies, I think, are better. But now let's talk about the stick. You can't buy anything but an EV in certain states after 2035. How dare you force me? That's the beauty of America, is we have states' rights. And states' rights are more important in a lot of cases than federal restrictions. California has a unique topography, a unique geography, mountain ranges that trap in the smog. You know how bad the smog was in the 80s and 90s. It was choking. It would burn your throat.
I was there.
You were there. And California said, look, we need to have the ability to make our own rules. And I don't remember which pinko liberal it was that was Reagan. Reagan did that. Because say what you will about Reagan, he cared about the air quality in California.
This pinko liberal, and I'm anything but, spent his New Year's Eve in 1970 walking up and down the parade route at the before the parade at the Rose Parade, handing out and having people sign their name on Proposition 1, which was the initiative to clean up the air in Southern California. So no, I like clean air.
Yeah. And it's important to me that states are able to make rules that benefit the people of their state, even if those rules don't necessarily make sense in other states. Washington is the same kind of deal. We've got mountains that can trap pollution in. And New York is another place where they're trying to ban non-electric, polluting cars.
Right.
New York's smog in the 70s was world famous. I'm glad that they're allowed to move past that. Anything else you want to try and?
I think that I'm sure there are things, but I think I've run out for this moment.
Well, the one other that I wanted to mention is the environmental impact of all the mining and
Oh,
lithium
yes.
and
Oh, yes.
look, uh, when you get a bunch of material to build a battery, you have that material. It is now yours. You can recycle it, you can use it, you can find a second use for it. But when you burn gas, it's gone. And I've seen people say, hey, look, you hate oil, but don't you know that all these amazing things are made with oil? Like, I mean, aspirin is made from oil.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. If it's so valuable, why you setting it on fire is my question.
Actually, Elon Musk started the company, and his whole motto, his whole mission statement has to do with sustainability. Nothing at all to do with environment or CO2 in the atmosphere or anything else. It's about sustainability. His concern when he was a teenager was that we're going to run out of these resources. I happen to have a different opinion about whether we'll run out of resources, but at the same time, why not use resources that are much easier actually to gather, and then they can be recycled? It makes total sense.
What if, but Randy, what if we make the air cleaner and the water cleaner and the streets quieter and we make the world a better place for nothing?
Because we
Okay.
don't have enough people. Yeah, we need to make more people.
Um,
Starting in France, no, in Italy. Why would Elon pick on Italy in terms of a place to make more people?
I haven't heard that, and I don't know. I've never been to Italy. What did we miss? What do we misunderstand? I'll leave it into them comments. Like, subscribe, head over to Randy Kirk's channel, show him some love, and we will talk to you clever robots on the next one.